They're saying it's an hour at least to wait. So now we have to think about how much do we want lunch, breakfast, coffee. If we made it all the way up here and we don't do it, is it really worth it?
Hello, we're super glad you decided to join us today.
And if you're new to our channel, we are all about bringing you along with us as we share our family adventures and offer some tips and tricks related to camping, part-time RV living, as well as campground reviews and a whole bunch of other stuff. And if that's something that interests you, we would love it if you would consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of our future content.
In October, we spent a week together exploring some of Arizona's most beautiful scenery. We visited Sedona and Jerome, and if you haven't checked out our Jerome vlog, check it out. You don't want to miss it. It's a cool little town.
Sedona has some of the most iconic landscaping and has some really incredible hiking to go along with all the views. The hike to Devil's Bridge is perhaps the most popular hike in Sedona and has been on my bucket list for years.
And we tried to capture all the beauty of the hike, but the camera just doesn't do it justice.
No, it really doesn't. But I'm sure that you guys are just as excited to see it as we are to share it with you. So why don't you go and hit that like button and we will meet you out at the trailhead. Okay, we made it to what we believe is close to the trailhead for Devil's Bridge Trail.
Seems to be a lot of traffic going on right now, and we're early-ish, 7:30.
Devil's Bridge is one of the more popular hikes in Sedona though, but hopefully the trails aren't too crowded, because I know that I've seen some videos of people going and hiking and having to essentially wait in line to actually get across the bridge, which is the cool part, the actual bridge, because it's so busy and backed up. But we'll see. If anything, it's still gonna be great just because Sedona is absolutely beautiful. So we might not get sun for a while, but that's why we have sweatshirts. And once we start walking, our blood will warm up.
Yes.
Amateur pro tip: if you're gonna come up to hike Devil's Bridge, I would just not even bother trying to come up to the parking lot, because we've seen multiple cars pass
And
then they go back out to the street. And I don't know if you can see any of the parking lot that way, but it's all full. So unless you're just like kind of stressing yourself out by driving up and driving all around trying to find a parking spot, I just say go ahead and park in the street and call it good. If you're looking for a hiking trail in like the traditional sense of a hiking trail, this definitely isn't it. It's unique though, because this is a road that can be used by off-road vehicles. So we've seen 2 Jeeps and stuff come by here, and it's nice because it also means that the trail is nice and wide. It's definitely
sandy and rocky.
And even though it is a road and not really a traditional hiking trail, the views are absolutely beautiful. Can it be a secret anymore if it's posted at the entrance to the trailhead? In case you didn't know, there is a secret mountain wilderness. We're gonna take you. So we actually misspoke about the trail to the bridge not being an actual trail but a road. That was actually a multi-purpose road, which is why there were Jeeps on there. But when we actually get to the trailhead, then it becomes a little bit more of a normal trail. It's still pretty wide, but
Yeah.
there's no motorized vehicles or anything allowed back here. So just people and horses, which so far we've only seen people.
And a dog.
And a dog, this is true. Or was it a really small horse? It was a Dachshund. There was no mistaking it for a horse. So this is cheaper than Disney World. The hiking is harder, But much like Disneyland, Disney World, Disney somewhere, they're saying it's an hour at least to wait. So now we have to think about how much do we want lunch, breakfast, coffee. But then you gotta think, if we made it all the way up here and we don't do it, is it really worth it?
We'll see what happens.
So I decided that we're gonna wait, and we're almost there. And someone needs to stop having worst case scenarios run through her head.
It's hard not to.
It doesn't help that when we were standing here earlier, we saw some dude like slip as he went to get his position. So that doesn't help people who are already thinking worst case scenarios about stuff.
Working in a hospital, your mind always works on worst case scenario.
We'll be all right. And we'll have an epic thumbnail to prove it.
So we went through with it. We waited for the probably 45 minutes. It actually moved pretty quickly, but I'm really glad that we ended up deciding to do the pictures.
Right, it's really cool. And it was one of those things where we did this hike and we got to the top, and yes, waiting in line isn't fun, but it's kind of one of those things where I wanted to do this hike for a really long time. Not be able to actually take a picture on the bridge would have been
really anticlimactic.
Right, so glad that we did it. Is funny because that's like the one place where even though you're waiting in line, everyone's cheering for you to go slow because it looks nerve-wracking, and it's super cool. But really glad we did that. This morning it was 50 degrees when we left, and it's 60, but we're in the sun now and been hiking around, so I definitely would not want to do this hike in the summertime. And it was chilly this morning, so I wore jeans, which I would...
Rookie mistake.
Total rookie mistake, and I'm really wishing I would have worn shorts, but you live and you learn, and we're gonna go ahead and get down off this mountain and go get us some breakfast and coffee because it is after 9 o'clock and we haven't had either one of those yet. It's absolutely beautiful up here, and I'm so glad that we did this, and I'm glad that we got here early.
Yes.
Gonna be a recommendation probably all the time, but get here as early as you can. We were gonna do a sunrise hike initially, and I'm glad that we didn't try to do that because the terrain's really rough. It would have been really hard in the dark, but get here early. Man, revisiting that hike really makes me miss Sedona.
It was so beautiful. I'm glad we did the hike, and I'm really glad we decided to take our time and wait in line and get that iconic bridge photo.
And I really appreciate you having the patience and the ability to work through all the worst case scenarios that were running through your head.
And when you get out to the bridge, you realize it's really not that narrow, and just got to keep that in mind so you don't get too nervous, but it's really not that bad.
Another thing too, in retrospect, we mentioned that doing a sunrise hike would make us nervous, but I think if you go out there with some good headlamps, that now that we know the terrain, we would definitely consider doing that because it would be super awesome to be able to see the sunrise in that area.
Absolutely. We really hope you enjoyed coming along with us on this beautiful hike. And if you did, let us know by hitting the like button if you haven't done so already. And if you enjoy hiking, maybe let us know in the comments what some of your favorite hikes are.
And if you want to see some more awesome content like this, then make sure if you haven't already that you hit that subscribe button below. Bonus, this is probably one of the only subscriptions that you'll ever sign up for, well, click for, and not get spam email.
That's true. We hope you all have a safe and happy holiday.
And a very happy new year. We'll see you next year.
Bye.
Bye.